with all the latest news and discussion from the football world. This is Football Central. Go.
Hello, I know when to go, Will. Hello and welcome to Extra Time for... What is this? You've thrown me off there. Hello and welcome to Extra Time for the Champions League match against Man United and PSG. Man United lost 3-1, so hooray. And Chelsea won 4-0 against Sevilla, so also hooray. Sorry for the poor intro. Will sort of messed up when we first started, so he's kind of thrown us off pace a little bit. By us, I obviously mean the usual suspects, Mr. TubeMix. Hello, how are you?
I'm good, mate.
Please don't whisper. Mr. Sam Taylor, how are you, young sir?
Hello, JLIWheels, and hello, Mr. TubeMix.
Yeah, Sam. I offered out Sam on a plate today. He got beat in our little beard competition. More to follow on that later.
You don't win anything.
Also joining us is the special guest. Basically, the TubeMix before TubeMix was a thing. For those of you remember years and years back, you'll remember Alex. Also known as Gricey21, was the man who started this all off with Will. Hello, mate. How are you? So basically, we're going to go around the United fans in the room and say, what do we think of the result?
Terrible result.
Well, it's obviously It's obviously not ideal, but we're still in a good position to qualify going into the last day. I think we've got Leipzig in the last day, so it comes down to us and Leipzig. It's in our hands. So let's go out there and do the business. Ollie's at the wheel. So I'm staying positive because when I saw this Champions League group, I thought going in to the last game we'd have no chance, because I thought we would have lost all our games, but we haven't. So, I'm feeling quite optimistic, and I think we'll just scrape through. I do.
Sam, are you pro Ollie out, or are you Ollie in?
Well, I am. Well, I have to say,
he's Ollie on the fence.
No, Ollie's a legend, but I do feel that he's not quite management material.
No, he said it. So who would you put in this position? Who would you?
Pochettino.
Just to put it into some context, obviously, United have to win. They have to win or draw against Leipzig on the final day. Leipzig obviously won against Istanbul Başakşehir 4-3, with the winner coming in the 92nd or 3rd minute. We will have a look at the scores around the grounds in a moment, but I'm guessing we'll want to do what Will usually does and go to the player ratings.
I love this bit. This bit is it's a great bit of the show. So
the only bit that's great about the show is the player ratings.
I mean, I'm not being funny, Will. If you're not going to speak any louder, well, I think me and Sam will just take over, because I've not heard one word that you've said.
Well, mate, if I speak any louder, if I speak normally, then I'll just go too loud. It's
right. We can hear you. Carry on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who do you want to do the player ratings?
Sam,
Would you like me to? Oh, you want Sam? Okay. Sam can do
okay.
it.
Let me get them up.
News, yeah?
Well,
While we're...
Can we just...
Well, go on.
For perspective, Sam's got an eye is visiting pairs, so it might take him ages.
Always
No, I've done it loads of times.
Yeah. So he always chooses Sam to do it, and it takes Sam the longest. I think Will's a little bit tight.
What about our special guest then?
No, Sam's doing it now. You're lying it. But yeah, just to add a little bit more context around the Champions League, Chelsea beat Sevilla 4-0. All goals scored by the evergreen Olivier Giroud. Now,
Great player.
We've had a couple of conversations about Giroud on this channel.
Love
I think
him.
one of the very first ones was me and Sam defending Giroud's goal scoring record at Arsenal. I've always thought he's a very good player.
Yes, he gets so cleverly criticised, and you look at what he's done in the game.
I think he got heavily criticised and unfairly criticised at Arsenal. But in terms of Chelsea, I don't think you see enough of him to be criticised, and that's fair enough, of course, because obviously he's a good player.
I'm surprised that he's got where he has to, because I don't think he's that good.
No, see, that's good. That's good because you're on the other side of the fence. I think he is quite divisive, Drew.
I think he's shit.
You know what? To be honest, I understand why he got stick at Arsenal, but I also think if you actually look at his stats for Arsenal, they weren't even that bad.
Yeah.
It's just because he's one of those that, because of the type of striker he is, he does have the capability to go missing in a game.
Yeah.
I was saying in the pre-match,
all big players do that. All big players do.
It's also the thing that Giroud doesn't really have the.
And don't forget about his age and how old he is.
Yeah.
34 years old.
He's not 34 years old, Giroud.
No, he is.
Yeah.
Giroud is 30. All right, mate. Giroud is 34. Yeah, the oldest player to score a hat trick in the Champions League since Ferenc Puskás in 1965 for Real Madrid.
What you about him is he's a very good professional. He keeps himself.
Yeah. He's never not once moaned about Tammy Abraham or Timo Werner, and I was saying this in the pre-match that you can see shades of Giroud in Tammy's play, and I like that.
Well, there's similar builds
under his wing.
The similar builds.
Yeah.
Big, heavy, but fast. You know, they can hold the ball up, and you know, I like. There's different types of centre forwards. I mean, if you're looking for somebody to run in behind, then Giroud's not your man, but he does a good job. And his goal scoring record is good, isn't he? France's all-time top goal scorer.
He is now, isn't he? He is, yeah.
So you know, you don't get to be France's all-time top goal scorer if you're not a good player.
No, I agree, and I do think he's I think he's criminally underrated.
I would like to get Alex's view on that. The fact I know you said he's rubbish, but the fact he's France's all-time top goal scorer.
I think people do better for the national team than they do in the personal team.
I agree.
I think people do well for the national team rather than their own clubs. Really, I think that's always been the trend.
Yeah, but France is a massive country.
He knows he's playing with better players there. You know what I mean? Playing with top.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's not playing with top level players, but playing with France team is a whole nother level. You know.
And I think the defensive nature of international football as well suits a forward like Giroud.
Yeah. You know, you're always going to get chances because you got in your team, and
take absolutely nothing away. I agree and disagree with Al's point. I do think that Giroud has been a fantastic striker at club level.
Absolutely, he's great.
Not world class.
No.
But dependable enough to get into teams at the top level.
Not world class, but top draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's what
I
I'd
agree
say.
that he's one of the best professionals out there at
But
the moment
I
because
think he's not had enough time to prove himself at like Chelsea. I think he's been on the
No,
back
he
foot.
hasn't. He hasn't, because I agree with that. Because you look at his first season, he hardly played, and then all the rumours were he was
Yeah.
going. But
No,
I
then,
think
you know,
think
he
it was one
started
of
to
them, wasn't
play,
it?
didn't he?
Because Chelsea, you know, spent a lot of money on Morata. What were they going to do? You know, in terms of Chelsea strikers recently, you know, Giroud's been at Chelsea for what 3 seasons now. So since he was
Is it that
31,
long?
and
I thought it was two.
you know,
I will go as far as to say I think Chelsea ruined his career.
I reckon he'll go to Inter Milan, I think.
that's the rumor, isn't it? Please stop whispering. You really put me on.
Sorry.
No, I do have the player ratings up when you're ready, but I know we're having this debate, so
Right. Well,
Go on.
I agree. I think the physicality of the Italian league actually would really suit him. But
Yeah,
I think what he offers to Chelsea in terms of his experience is similar to David Luiz. Yeah, David Luiz is nowhere near the player he was, but you hear those young Arsenal players talking about who the biggest influence on their careers has been, and they say David Luiz because of his experience.
the worst world-class player I've ever seen. So that's how I'd sum up David Luiz. He can be absolutely world-class, and then he can be absolutely shocking.
Especially when he came on against Manchester City. That was funny.
Yeah, but as we've learned from
See,
you, Will,
well,
you will
the
judge
thing
a
is,
player. Yeah.
you put players down. Like you say, it's funny, but you're very quick to put them down. I mean, you don't like Gareth Bale because he gets injured all the time.
Well,
Yeah.
you can't rely on him, and I just think he's overrated anyway.
I'm sure you slagged off Eden Hazard because he got injured again.
No. Hazard is a wonderful player.
So you're slagging off a player that's scored 1 goal in however many months because he's been injured, but you've got an issue with Gareth Bale when he's pretty much been the exact same and been injured a lot.
I think Hazard is a far better player than Bale's ever been.
I don't agree that he's a far better player than he's ever been. They have different attributes. Bale is strong and quick. Strong, quick, skillful.
Hazard's got a low
Hazard is
gravity.
Talk about Hazard. Have you seen how fast he's got in Real Madrid? That's a piss poor effort from him. You know, he should be working hard to get in their team.
He has put a lot of weight on.
He's been to McDonald's.
No, that is a shit professional.
He spent about 4 months on the treatment table, didn't he? Before his.
You shouldn't be getting that. That's what you should do. It's a disgrace.
Oh.
Would you have him back, George, with all the talent you got? If he turned round and said, "I've made a mistake, Chelsea, come and get me."
To be fair, I don't think he'll get us in the team now, George.
Would I have him?
No, he does. At his best, he gets. Surely, George, at his best, he gets.
Hang on, right. In my opinion, I would have him, but do I think he would get into the team or stay fit? You know, I think he needs to get fit. In my opinion,
All right then. A fit and firing Eden Hazard, does he get in this side?
Yeah.
But he needs
I
to
think-
major weight.
I think it's unfair, though. It would be unfair on. I think if anybody was going to lose the place, it'd be Mason Mount, because out of all them players that are in that midfield kind of attacking setup, that Frank has. Yeah, I know, but he's the weakest of them all.
That Simic, whatever his name is, that Simic.
Ziyech.
Yeah, Ziyech.
He's phenomenal.
He's brilliant.
He's like De Bruyne.
I've not seen too much.
I wouldn't say he's like De Bruyne.
No,
but
in
he's
terms
just
of
got-
his passing range.
Yeah, he's just got an edge about him. He's like a Delta Rat, but if he wasn't shit.
I doubt that on his day could be amazing, but those days came about twice a year.
Yeah, that's true. If you're ready to do the player ratings, Sam, I'm ready because I would like to go around the grounds as well. There's been some interesting results today.
Okay.
And I do think it's worth, I'll put it out there. I think we need to start doing on this show, just quickly as we're on European thing, just quickly, like mentioning the teams in the Europa League that are in action tomorrow.
Oh yeah, when we do the roundup show, yeah.
Well, stop whispering, you go.
So,
Right, go on,
tell me
Sam.
when you're ready.
We'll mute for a minute, because Willis is going to make us laugh. I'm going to mute for a minute.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Yes.
Right, okay. Right. David De Gea, not convincing for the opener, but saved from Florenzi at 1-0 superbly. Denied Backer at 1-1. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, good awareness to find Marcus Rashford for the equaliser.
Sam, wait, what rating did De Gea get?
What rating did he get? Let me just see. He got a 7.
Bit generous.
Aaron Wan-Bissaka, good awareness to find Marcus Rashford for the equaliser. On a rare flurry into the final third. 6. Victor Lindelof. PSG constantly had him on the back foot, and he hardly had a chance to intercept any attacks. 5. 1 minute. Alex Telles, slow to react to Neymar's first goal, but was good in the final third, and was average in his own third, a 6. Scott McTominay showed why he was recalled to the side, and his aggression unsettled PSG. Late first half tackle on Neymar set the tone for a dominant start to the second half, a 6. Fred somehow avoided an early bath and risked a dismissal again by stumping on Leonardo. I can't pronounce his last name. Pardes. When he was sent off, it was not.
Leandro Paredes.
Thank you, Paredes. It was not a bookable. It was not a bookable offence. A 4. Marcus Rashford, his equaliser was by a deflection, but that is now 3 goals in 4 games against PSG. Troubled PSG's backline, but forced off hurt in the second half, a 7. Bruno Fernandes had a great chance at the end of the half, but failed to convert. Anthony Martial's fabulous pass set up Anthony Martial for a great chance. 6. Anthony Martial was too delayed with his decision making and squandered a great chance at 1-1. Showed why he has been moved from the striker's role. 4. Dear, he wasn't very popular, was he? Edison Cavani, more involved in the second half, and linked up superbly with Rashford for Martial's chance. So unlucky with his chip that hits the bar 6. Subs, Paul Pogba fired narrowly over 6. Donny van de Beek, hang on, it's gone. 1 second. Donny van de Beek brought variety to the attack. 6. Mason Greenwood had little joy. 5. Odina Garlo, later rival, not applicable. And manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer picked an exciting side. Oh, hang on, it's gone. Bloody hell. Hit the wrong button. Wait a second, sorry lads. Just get it back. Sorry everybody. We're just on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, so I'll just get the main man back up. Right. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer picked an exciting side, but should have taken Fred off at half time when he was fortunate to stay on. Substitutions came on when United were down to 10 men, and a 5 for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and that concludes the Manchester United player ratings in tonight's 3-1 defeat to PSG at home.
Thank you very much,
Very
Sam
interesting.
Taylor.
I don't know if any of you actually saw Fred's should have been a red card, but very similar to what got Pepe sent off.
Can I ask you a question? Did you, to all the relevant Sam, do you believe that you could get a result against PSG?
Did I believe they were going to get a result
No,
against PSG?
that you could get a result of PSG.
That we could get a result?
Yeah, that you could make a game of it.
Yeah, I mean we beat them in the first leg, didn't we? So
because you're at home, that should be a definite win.
So yes. However, if you look at United, I saw a stat the other day. We've got a 1 in the Premier League. I know this wasn't the Premier League, but in the Premier League we've got 100% away record so far this season. Good job, otherwise we'd be in the relegation zone. But our away record, so our home record is the best it's ever been in the Premier League after this many games. But our away record is the worst it's ever been. So, and that just, our home record is the worst it's ever been, and our away record is the best. So that just shows, sorry mate, but that just shows that, in my opinion, we only have one style of play, and that's counter-attacking. And that works away from home, because even against the bigger teams, we've got players that can hurt, the opposition in behind, the likes of Rashford and Martial and Greenwood, quick, fast players. But we don't have, the best teams are able to adapt. You only have to watch what Tottenham have done recently. Tottenham under Jose Mourinho, because he's got the forward players, have been playing expansive attacking football.
Yeah.
But against City and against Chelsea, because they were playing top opposition, they were able to adapt, and they've got 4 points out of those 2 games. If that was United, we probably would have got 1 point instead of 4, maybe drawn 1 and lost the other.
Yeah.
So, we don't have an adaptation and different ways of playing.
Yeah.
And Ollie makes his subs too late. It's something TubeMix will probably want to to pick up on. I know Will has a real issue about how late Ollie makes his substitutions. I don't know if
and him sitting on his backside.
So before you say anything, why do you think it is that Ollie can only play one style of football? Why got he playing passing game? Is it because you don't think he's got the tactics to it? You don't think he's got the knowledge to it?
Well, as a manager, so just for an example, I don't know who you wanted to answer this question now. Sorry,
It's like it was targeted to you. So
but you look at Wolves, yeah. So Wolves have lost Matt Doherty to Tottenham.
yeah.
And Diogo Jota.
And
Why do
they've
you always
lost.
mention that? It doesn't matter about Johnson.
Well,
Well, it
I was
does,
thinking. I was
he's
thinking
on
more about.
defensively.
I was thinking more about the defence. So Wolves so far this season, I know they play a back five generally. In the last couple of games, they've gone to a back four. Now, albeit for one of those games, I appreciate they didn't have Connor Cody, but Connor Cody was back against Arsenal, and they played a back four to get more attacking players on the pitch.
Yeah.
Now, even though since they came into the Premier League, Wolves, this is their third season,
Yeah.
they've played a back five. All the players would have worked on a back four
Yeah.
in training.
Yeah.
They would have worked on different systems, but they just had that as the best system. But now Nuno's adapted and see his players can do it, so they've got different systems depending on who they play.
Yeah.
I think it's, as a coach, it's about being brave and diverse. And I'm not saying that you have to, change your playing style if it's going well, but on the training pitch you have to have more than one option, in case it's not working. So I remember, George will remember, was it Antonio Conte played with back four when he first went to Chelsea, and then went to a back five, and they went on that incredible 14-game unbeaten run or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So winning run. So you have to be adaptable, and I'm not sure Ollie is brave enough to be adaptable. And that means we win some games and we lose some, which is very much like a mid-table side.
Yeah.
We've had this on the review. You look at Palace, get a win one week, lose the next. Get a win one week, lose the next. And we are very. You're right.
Yeah.
We are very mid-table, mediocre. I don't care what people say. We have the players to hurt top opposition, because we do have some good players on the day, but they're not consistent enough, and that has to come from the training ground and the things you practice. So yeah. Anyway, I've talked enough.
100%.
Ollie also doesn't know his best team.
The thing, like Sam said, just to sort of back up what Sam said, you have to, as a top class manager as he's supposed to be, you have to play multiple different systems.
Yeah.
Chelsea can do it,
or at
Spurs
least
can do
train with them.
Yeah, all the
you've got
top
them.
teams can do it, and I just think that's the issue. Is they play this counter-attacking system against a group of players in PSG. That's literally the only way that PSG play is counter-attack, because in the French league, the defending is at times really suspect, so they can make those errors. So that is all they know in terms of as a professional team. So for Ole, really, they got exposed on how inept they are tactically, how inept he is to not, the biggest trick in the book when you've got a player on a yellow card is take the man off. Take him off. Everybody do it, even Will.
Particularly, sorry to crush you, but particularly if he looks like he's going to get sent off. Like he obviously was. He made a few tackles that were a bit suspect, so why leave him on?
We know
I
we know the
always
way that these play. We know the way that the likes of Fred and players like that play. We know that they're going to be aggressive. So if he got away with one, I wouldn't risk it.
and didn't I tell you guys when I play Football Manager, I always take a player off if they're on a yellow card.
Well,
Yeah,
when
I
you
don't
play
think you
Football
should
Manager-
always. You shouldn't always take a player off if they're on a yellow, but it depends what type of player they are. Go
I
on,
think it
Alex.
also depends what position they're in. If you've got a centre back on a yellow card, I'd take him off. If you've got a DM or a midfielder in a deeper role on a yellow card, I'd take him off as well. But if your striker or your wingers on a yellow, I probably wouldn't take them off.
Yeah, that's fair
Go
enough.
on, Alex. What
And
were
also,
you going to say?
when Will plays Football Manager, he does the keys. He needs to learn
Yeah.
that doesn't make any difference.
Yeah, true. So we know now that obviously for United it boils down to the final day. Leipzig obviously got away with one a little bit against Istanbul, who despite finishing bottom of the group, which they probably will do, or they have done, they've given a really good account of themselves, as United fans obviously know.
Yeah, they can go home proud.
They can. Takes a while to get used to European football.
So I think it's really important for Ole to turn around now and say, yeah, okay, we got a little bit, the scrutiny, but like I've said, I don't think, and we've all agreed on it, I don't think United have that chance to win the Premier League. So the Champions League,
We're
the Champions
nowhere
League,
near.
Nowhere
We're
near.
nowhere near.
the Champions League as a competition does always throw out that kind of anomaly of a result. So in that respect, if I was Ole, that'd be my focus. And if they go out of the Champions League, you've got to think that there's question marks. It was one player, one substitution, Edinson Cavani, that got him out of trouble against Southampton. It were fantastic, I think, against United, but United did play some good football too. No, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I just think that time is running out for Ole, and luck does run out eventually.
Yeah,
I don't think
Well,
United are a big team anymore. The fact that the scare factor of coming towards us,
I agree.
is not there anymore.
I agree. We're a big club. That won't change. United as a club are a massive club, but as a team, if I was a top player, at the end of my career with a chance to play for Man United, definitely. But if I was in my prime, I'm not going to be looking around Europe and going, "Oh, Man United, yeah, it's a great club, one of the biggest in the world, but they've got a shit team with a shit manager." So,
Do you know where I'd go? Genuinely, if they were offering, I'd go to an Italian club, because I think the Italian league is a league that's on the up.
Well, the Italian league is piss poor compared to the Premier League. So
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If it was a big club like your Inter Milan, your AC Milan, let's say, like, for example, there are only a few big clubs coming in, and the bigger clubs were the European clubs, I'd go to Europe. I think there are a lot of players doing it now, and I think that's good. But yeah, I think United have lost there's no sense of, United at Old Trafford, oh shit. The same as it's like Chelsea at Stamford Bridge or Man City at the Etihad.
you look at what Liverpool have done at their home, and the incredible record that they have at Anfield. That's a fortress. We're nowhere near there.
I think the moment that you knew that United fucked up is bringing Lee Grant in as you met Marky signing.
Lee Grant is a marquee signing.
We joke about it, but I think that was the worst time for the football club. That is the worst signing.
However, like Alex has just, if I could just pick up on what you said, you say about the team not being right, and it's true, and the management staff and all that, but the club's not being run properly either. We've got a man in charge of we've got a man in charge of recruitment who's a very good businessman, but he knows rock all about football. So, and we're in £300 billion of debt. All these things filter down. And I think the club, yes, losing Alex Ferguson was a massive thing, and it would be for any club, whether it's been manager of Real Madrid or whoever. When you've had a status for that long, you can't really replace them. But we're talking about Manchester United, and we've got Ed Woodward.
David Gill shouldn't have gone at the same time. He should have stayed, for continuity.
Yeah, but they got rid of him.
No.
You're right.
He chose to leave.
Are right. Yeah, but he chose to leave because he could see he was going to be recruiting a shit side.
I think the thing is, and this is the point, really. There's so much of a blame game within the United thing, this is happening. But there is culpability on the playing staff and managerially as well. I think there are so many players in that. There aren't so many, but there are a handful of players in that team. I could turn around and I could say, well, right, okay, this player doesn't want to be here. This player shouldn't be here. This player shouldn't be here. There's a core of players, and I could name them that have been there for a long time. And probably the main one, obviously, is the one that's starting and playing is Pogba. And that's the point. When you have, one of the best midfielders in his in the world on his day on the bench because he's such a disruptive influence, tells you everything to me.
I'd be happy to pack his suitcases for him.
No, but this is where I think you missed the point. Because you and me both know how good Paul Pogba is.
Yes.
We all know how good Paul Pogba is. We've
Yes.
all seen it.
Paul
We all
Pogba
know.
wants it.
And I understand that there's so much about what Paul Pogba wants. I imagine if he believed in the manager, like he did when Ole first came in, and Paul Pogba was playing great football and doing well, I just think that a player of that quality knows when they're up against a manager that isn't up to the level. That being said, then it does come into the realm of, well, Pogba's got a bad attitude. Yes, he has.
He's playing for the club, though. As much as you might not get on with the manager, and I get that affects your football, you play for the club even more than you play for your manager. And I know
I understand that. That's what I was basically going to say was that the top players do know, and maybe that's why the likes of Rashford and Martial and players like that aren't complaining, because they've not played in teams that have won things, not proper things like Pogba, like league titles after league title after league title in Italy. I just think that some of these players are settling for a manager that isn't understanding, that is under the standard.
Is it, you look at Leicester, who have made giant strides in the last few years, arguably one of the biggest strides in world football as a football club, right? And they've had some good managers and a couple that are, that are just okay. But their recruitment has been great. They're not the biggest club in the world, but they make great strides because they're under good, stable ownership.
The owners are fantastic.
Ownership that understands the football club. Ownership that the structure of the right people in the right places.
Oh, if
which
only
then
United
filters
had
down
that.
to the team and filters down to recruitment. And that includes the recruitment of staff, the recruitment of managers, the recruitment of players. You see how many players they brought for only a couple of million and sold them on for 60, 70, 80 million.
I agree.
And the point I'm making is yes, I'm not sure Ollie's good enough, and yes, there are problems with the team, but also that comes from the structure of the football club.
That's the problem, though, isn't it, Sam? Like, Ole is a good manager where he was, which was what? Norway, Sweden? Who knows where? I don't care, right?
I think it's Norway.
Molde, which is in Sweden or Norway or whatever, right? So he did win stuff there. And
but
that's
it's Molde.
Yeah, exactly. But it's Molde, and it's not going to know the thing. And the thing with Leicester, the thing with Leicester is right. Think about, for example, the amount of people that got excited when Michael Carrick came in and Phelan and all them were back on the coaching staff, right? And the fact that Ollie's there in general, or you look at Chelsea and they've got Paulo Ferreira and Claude Makelele and Petr Cech, the likes of Toriandra Flo and Joe Cole are helping out the young lads and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's Frank Lampard, Hilario. I could name loads of them. Loads of ex-players that are getting involved. Chelsea, not Chelsea, that's the name of the club. Ashley Cole, there's loads. And that helps, but Abramovich is a millionaire that also loves football. So he will take the money out of his pocket and, it's not, he trusts the people under him, like Granislava, however you say her name, Maria Watson. Yeah, he trusts her because 89 million for one player is a lot of money for Havertz. But it is about having that trust, and that's what I wonder about the Glazers, because they don't understand football, because they're not involved with the United in very many ways. Do they put the trust into all them players making those decisions? Because at the end of the day, somebody like Ed Woodward, a businessman that would be able to look at the negatives and positives of signing players, should be able to actually run a football club really well if he's given the backing. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, I get that, but business is still business, and as a person that runs businesses, you would know, based on things like stats and things like that, whether they're a good signing or not. Not that United have made misfirings in the wind. Maybe over the last couple of years, I don't think they've made that many bad signings, but I think those signings have played well. You look at Sanchez, on the face of it, Sanchez for Mkhitaryan was a great deal, but Sanchez did shit.
So did Mkhitaryan.
Bringing Paul Pogba back when he was at the peak of his, at the peak of his game. Great decision. Didn't work out. Nemanja Matic, peak of his career. As good as he was going to get. Yeah, he's an aging player, but he's still, and the experience he's got, he should have been great. He's not being helped out by the team around him. I'm not saying he's done bad, but I feel like he didn't fit into the team because of the way that the United way. So yeah, they have made some misfirings, but it doesn't make much sense.
I think it makes sense as in you look at Leeds, right, and it's a different situation, I know, but Leeds, massive club, and nearly went out of business and in liquidation because they overspent. Now I know we're talking about a different situation, but I'm just on about a club not being run properly. 3 years before they went into administration, they were playing in the Champions League against Atletico Madrid. 3 years later, they were relegated from the Premier League. But the point I'm making is, if the club isn't run properly, at whatever extent, then it is going to filter down, and you're more than likely going to get the wrong people in the wrong places, whether that's the wrong manager, whether that's the wrong, you have, as a business, you make the wrong decisions. I'm sure Leicester have done it where they've had the wrong person here or the wrong person there. but the main bulk of the club, the majority, you can get away with one or two not being right. Because you can just, well, they're not working, let's fire them, pay some manager, and get somebody else, because we know the structure of the club.
Ultimately, going right back to where we were, the problem with this conversation is, well, what? Does somebody want to tell me what the problem with this conversation is? Because we've had it before. Anybody want to have a guess what I'm going to say?
No, I don't know.
The problem with this conversation is that we have this conversation about Ole, about the club. Everybody gets on the let's sack Ole train, and then United have one, another good performance or get away with one, which it is usually getting away with one, and all that goes away, and it's not fair. It's not fair, and I'm not saying that's for you, Sam, because I know it's not, because we've had that conversation before. But I do think, in some respects, this conversation is pointless, because every single time we've had this conversation, the next game they win, and then it's pressure off. But the pressure will tell in the end, and that's my opinion. If you show a willingness to adapt, if you show a tactical ineptity, if you show a lack of fucking common sense, then it's over. You're done.
But my question is, you were talking about the 3 billion in debt. They're 3 billion in debt, but you see football league teams go out of debt for nothing. You see, like a Paris. So how are they not? I get the revenue's higher, but they're still 3 billion in debt.
It's also probably the fact that a team like Manchester United should be able to clear that debt very quickly. But, part of the COVID issue, of course, is that.
Because I'm from a lower league team, I support a lower league team, and seeing that 3 billion in debt, if that was us, we'll be out of business. You know what I mean?
To be fair, we're lucky now though, because we're part run by the fans. So I don't think we'd ever get into one of those situations.
No, yeah, but still, you've got like a Berry, you've got like Manchester.
It's typical thin size, doesn't it? That a team can be in 3 billion in debt and still I don't know, Harry Maguire for 80 million. So, it just shows exactly what you do.
To me, that's just a disgusting amount.
I always say to people that I think the money in the Premier League is disgusting and needs to be dispersed from the lower league.
I agree. The division between the Premier League to the rest of the football pyramid, and when I say the football pyramid, I go right to grassroots as well, because that's extremely important. It's too big.
No, but let's say £1 million could do a lot for a club like Alex, and it wouldn't mean shit to you, would it?
So this has been a really interesting conversation, but obviously, as we said earlier on, the return of fans is massive, and I really just want to go back round the grounds in the Champions League and in the other leagues.
Yeah,
that's okay
fine
with everybody. We've been going for about an hour now, so I'm thinking maybe we sort of start to round up, perhaps.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
So, in Group E in the Champions League, FK Krasnodar beat Stade Rennes 1-0 thanks to a goal from Berg. I don't know if that's Henningberg. Not Henningberg. What's it? Marcus
Can
Berg.
you name the ones that are qualified as well?
Yeah.
If they have.
Chelsea beat Sevilla 4-0 thanks to all 4 from Olivier Giroud with assists from Havertz, Kovacic and Kante. I think that, well, I'll tell you what, we'll do it next week when it's all absolutely confirmed. Because that works easier, I think.
That makes sense. Yeah,
because there are a couple of ones that are still in the air yet. So for me, I wouldn't want to be doing that. In Group F, Borussia Dortmund drew with Lazio. Rafael Guerrero scored in the 44th minute, assisted by Thorgan Hazard. And that was cancelled out from a Ciro Immobile penalty in the 67th minute. How do you say his name, Will?
Immobile.
Very good, very good. In Group F, Club Brugge beat Zenit St. Petersburg 3-0. That's a great result for them, thanks to goals from De Ketelaere, Van Aken and Lang. In Group G, Barcelona beat... No, he plays for Peterborough or something. In Group G, Barcelona beat Fenerbahce 3-0 thanks to goals from Griezmann, Braithwaite and Musa. Is it Musa? Yeah, Ousmane Dembele penalty. Martin Braithwaite hasn't really done very bad for Barcelona, but it is Barcelona. I think you've got to think about that. Juventus beat Dinamo Kiev 3-0 thanks to goals from Federico Chiesa, Cristiano Ronaldo and Alvaro Morata. In Group H, Istanbul Başakşehir won 4-3 against Istanbul. Istanbul scored all 3 goals through their midfielder Kaveshi, whereas the goals from who got a hat-trick, and the goals from Leipzig came from Christoph Poulsen, Norman, I don't know how you say it. I think it's Norman Mukiele, Danny Olmo and Alexander Sorloth.
He played for Palace.
Obviously, Manchester United lost 3-1 thanks to 2 goals from Neymar, a goal from Marquinhos, and a goal from Marcus Rashford, with Fred being sent off. In the Championship, Middlesbrough won 2-1 thanks to 2 goals from Duncan Watmore, who got spat out of League One by Sunderland and then managed to work his way into the Championship where he's ripping it up. The Swansea...
He was a great player. I always wondered what happened to him. In the season they got relegated, he was great.
Yeah, the Swansea goal scorer was Jan Dander. Let's have a look where that leaves us with the Championship table. The Swans drop out, whereas Middlesbrough go up to 10th as it stands. Hang on, what am I doing here? Don't know. Blackburn beat Millwall 2-1 thanks to goals from Harvey Elliott and Adam Armstrong, with a goal in between that from Scott Malone. That puts Blackburn in 9th and Millwall in 13th. Luton Town continued their amazing run in the Championship, beating top of the table Norwich 3-1 thanks to goals from George Moncur. What's the name? Pearson. I'm thinking Matty Pearson. I don't know if that's right. And a James Collins penalty. In between those goals was a Emi Buendia penalty as well. That still keeps Norwich top, I believe. Yeah, it does still keep Norwich top. And leaves Luton
very well, Nathan Jones again.
Leaves Luton in 11th. It was 0-0 between Forest and Watford. 1-1 between Sheffield Wednesday and Reading, with Callum Patterson scoring for Sheffield Wednesday and Lucas Jow cancelling it out. And also Shaw was sent off in the 30th minute. I don't know who Shaw is. Wycombe were beaten 1-0 by Stoke, thanks to a goal from Crewe's very own Nick Powell, assisted by James McLean. There were fans there, were there? Yeah, there would have been.
1,000. So what do you think about that, guys? What do you think about 1,000 fans returning back to football?
Better than nothing, and I don't get the fact that people are moaning that it's an unfair advantage with tier 2 and tier 1. It is. If you're in tier 3, or how many fans you can have, because it's great to have fans back and we need them back, so people have just got to get on with it, in my opinion.
It is wonderful to have them back.
Even if only half the league can have them, it's better than nothing.
So let's just go across the Championship table as well, by the way, before we move on. Bottom of the table still are Derby with 8 points. In 23rd, Sheffield Wednesday with 9 points. In 22nd, Wycombe with 10. In 21st and 20th respectively with 13 points, Nottingham Forest and Rotherham. In 19th on 14 points, Coventry. In 18th on 16 points, Birmingham. 17th with 18 points, QPR. And also Preston. No, that's wrong. In 15th and 14th respectively, Preston and Barnsley on 19 points. In 13th and 12th respectively, Millwall and Cardiff on 20 points. In 11th, Luton with 22 points.
Well done, Luton.
In 10th and 9th, respectively, Middlesbrough and Blackburn with 24 points. In 8th, Stoke with 25 points. In 7th and 6th, respectively, Swansea and Brentford with 26 points. In 5th, 4th, 3rd and 2nd, respectively, with 27 points, Bristol City, Reading, Watford and Bournemouth, and top of the Championship table with 28 points is Norwich City. So very interesting. Yeah, very interesting in the Championship. In League One, a return to Plough Lane for fans, I'd imagine. Were the fans there? There should have been. They're in Tier 1, aren't they?
Yeah.
Wimbledon? They should be. And fans return to Plough Lane. Wimbledon dented Peterborough once again, thanks to goals from, I think it's Ryan Longman and Joe Pigott, with the consolation for Peterborough being scored from Johnson Clark Harris. Bristol Rovers were beaten 2-0 away thanks to 2 goals from the Crewe old boy Verdane Oliver.
I don't know why he's come so good this one.
I know, he's doing alright, isn't he? Hull won 2-1 against Donny thanks to goals from what's his name, Josh McGuinness and Tom Eaves, with a consolation in between from Arsenal loanee Tyrese John-Jules. Charlton were beaten 1-0 away from home by MK Dons thanks to a goal from Scott Fraser. And the final game of the day, which will have had fans in it as well, is Shrewsbury 2, Accrington Town 2. The goals being scored by Aaron Pierre and Sean Wally for Shrewsbury, and whoever Pritchard is, and Cassidy for Accrington. Let's just go and have a look at the League One table as well, as it stands.
Go on, Crew.
So, as it stands, at the bottom of the League One table with 8 points is Wigan. 23rd in the table are Shrewsbury with 10 points. 22nd in the table with 11 points is Burton Albion. 21st in the table with 13 points is Bristol Rovers. 20th in the table with 14 points are the absolute shithouse of a club known as Oxford United.
Oh God.
19th and 18th respectively, Swindon and Rochdale on 16 points. 17th with 17 points is MK Dons. 16th with 18 points is Northampton Town. 15th, 14th and 13th respectively with 19 points is Plymouth Argyle, Blackpool and Crewe Alexandra. 12th and 11th respectively with 20 points is Gillingham and Wimbledon. 21st and 10th in the league is Doncaster Rovers.
That didn't make sense.
9th and 8th with 23 points.
You just said 21st and 10th in the league.
No, I didn't. I said 12th and 11th with 20
No,
points.
you didn't.
It's because I said it the wrong way around from the way I said it before.
Say it again.
I said with 20 points and 11th and 12th and 11th respectively, Gillingham and Wimbledon.
Thank you.
With 23 points No, let's say it the other way so Sam doesn't whinge. 9th and 8th, respectively, Accrington and Fleetwood on 23 points. On 24 points, and 7th in the table, Sunderland. On 25 points and 6th in the league, Portsmouth. In 5th and 4th, on 26 points, Ipswich and Charlton. 3rd in the league with 28 points, Peterborough. 2nd in the league with 29 points, Lincoln City. And top of the league with 33 points, Hull.
I'd just like to say I'm very sorry to about the mix up there. JLIWheels did have a lot to read, but he clearly gets his numbers the wrong way around.
You just don't like it because you like to be the best, but you're just not, Sam. Get over yourself. Going into League Two, what am I doing here? Carlisle, who had 2,000 fans, from what I'm aware.
Yeah.
Beating Salford 2-1, thanks to goals from Lewis Alessandra and Reece Bennett, with a goal for Salford from Deshaun Bernard. Walsall and Stevenage drew 1-1. With Aramide Ote scoring for the penalty spot for Stevenage before Josh Gordon equalised in the 91st minute for the Saddlers. And Cambridge got an away loss thanks to our good friend of this channel, Nigel Clough. And Mansfield
lost away.
What did I say? Away loss?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
You said got an away.
It means the same thing. We got an away
loss, like it's a good thing.
Yeah, because Cambridge are the home team.
Yeah, got an away loss. Well, hey, anyway,
and that's actually Cambridge's first home defeat, by the way, of the season.
Aren't they top goal scorers in Europe?
No, Paul Mullin was at some point. So, and this is the final table because I'm getting fed up of saying all these different numbers. Bottom of the Football League pyramid with 5 points in 24th is Southend. In 23rd is Stevenage with 12 points. That's a way better way of doing it. 22nd and 21st respectively, Bradford and Barrow on 13 points. Shut up, Sam, you put me off. 20th and 19th respectively with 14 points is Mansfield and Scunthorpe. 18th with 15 points is Grimsby. 17th with 17 points, Oldham Athletic. 16th with 18 points is Walsall. 15th, 14th and 13th respectively with 19 points is Harrogate, Port Vale, the Scumbags and Crawley. 12th with 21 points is Colchester. 11th, 10th and 9th respectively, Morecambe, Bolton and Salford. 8th and 7th respectively with 24 points is Tranmere and Leyton Orient. 6th with 25 points is Cambridge. 5th and 4th respectively with 26 points, Carlisle and Forest Green Rovers. 3rd with 27 points, Exeter. 2nd with 29 points, Cheltenham. And top of the league with 30 points, fuck you specky bastard, is more, I fucked it up, what are they called? Newport County with 30 points.
Whoa.
Fuck off.
God,
yeah.
I fell asleep through that. Can you go through it again?
I don't think you did fall asleep. All you kept doing is going away, you cocky cunt.
Can I just say that Crew's victory last night was a nice one for my family because we're going through some difficult times right now. So
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I don't believe in much religion, but I did see that result and believe that it was in memory of Alex and his family, who are obviously going through some stuff at the minute. So yeah, very nice.
Is Will even here?
Yes, I'm here.
Quiet as a mouse. I've got a little bit of announcement before we finish.
Go on then.
So, you probably don't know, because I don't think anybody from this channel has ever seen a video of mine. I have recently started doing videos once again. I've started doing a playthrough of the original Resident Evil game, which if you haven't seen, you should probably go and watch, because it's, based on the standard of videos before mine, it's alright considering. But yeah, go over and give me a follow.
I'll learn from your video.
Following the channels, following this channel, and yeah, are you ready to bring it home, Will?
Yeah. I like that phrase. Bring it home.
Or do you want me to bring it home, Will?
No.
Don't let him bring it home. You don't need it to go through his head.
No. I'll bring the show to a close. But thanks for the offer.
Bring it home sounds better. Bring it home, Will.
Okay. So, my thanks to JLIWheels, Sam Taylor, and very, very special guest, Gricey21. Really good to see you, Al.
Thank you.
And yeah, Al, we've loved having you doing this show, mate. It's been so great.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. Take my mind off what's happening right now. So
what's next for TubeMix? Sorry, Will.
Well, tomorrow we will be back with a roundup of all the Premier League's action from the
Premier
week.
Leagues.
And
yeah,
I'll have to see if I can do that. I might be able to.
Okay, and looking ahead to the next round of games because they come quickly.
Yeah.
And Al, are you? Would you fancy doing that tomorrow?
Yeah, if you come quickly, well,
What did you think?
Yeah. If he comes quickly, he'll do it.
A bit like the games coming up. Thick and fast.
No, I think you're kind of missing the point, but okay.
Oh, never mind.
What about Friday or Saturday? Will anything planned for that?
Well, let's see. Friday, Saturday.
You said you did have something planned for that. You had something you wanted us to do.
Oh, yes. Can't believe I forgot.
I definitely can't do Saturday.
Okie dokie. Well, we want to do something which is a little different to our football content. And basically, we're going to be, having a pilot, having a little tryout, see how it's working. And basically, we're going to talk about...
Nothing, it's just the way he puts things makes me giggle.
Basically, we're going to talk about different subjects, things we like. So, for example, I could talk about Doctor Who, George could talk about the football, Sam could talk about
women.
Whatever Sam's into. Dogging.
Al, what would you talk about?
I'll teach you about Bonewell.
Oh my god.
Sam could talk about Formula One, I could talk about comics, and Alex could give us a lesson on the mighty Crew Alexandra. How about that?
That'd be really great, yeah.
So yeah, and then obviously we'll be back doing a United video on Sunday.
We will, yep,
Are you
indeed.
doing one for the Tottenham Arsenal game?
When's that?
Sunday at 4 o'clock.
Is that Sunday at 4 o'clock?
Oh,
I don't know, it's up to Will, I guess.
Tottenham Arsenal, if that's... Oh yeah, that's a big game,
He's got
that
him
is.
excited now. Oh yeah.
That is a London derby, that is.
Okay,
Though
yeah.
it might be a bit of a relegation scrap for Arsenal.
No, they won't go down.
You sound like you had an orgasm.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God! There's no fucking derby.
So yeah, I'd really like to do Arsenal v Tottenham. Yeah. Oh, actually, United are on Saturday. They are.
Let's face it. Arsenal and Tottenham is a lot better game than fucking United.
Well, it should be a good game.
Who are United playing? I don't even know.
West Ham.
Oh shit. West Ham will win. Come on, West Ham.
Do you know? I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
It is on Saturday, Will, you melon.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I said. It is on
The
Saturday.
game's on the Saturday, you gimp. You didn't tell me that. You said it was on the Sunday.
Well, no. I had to look it up and then said, oh no, it is on the Saturday.
Right, so we're doing a video on the Saturday and a video on the Sunday.
Yes.
I've got comments tomorrow, so can we get on with this?
Sorry.
I know, you're fucking telling me. It's 12 o'clock.
Oh.
I wanted to be in bed by this time. I've got to do some recording after this.
Right.
It's not funny, you fucking It's not funny.
If you want to, like, share,
Please don't, he doesn't deserve it.
like, share, comment, and subscribe to the TubeMix YouTube channel, and we will see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bye then. Say bye, you gimp.
So from all of us here, stay safe. I finally remembered it. Stay safe and goodbye.
The vaccine's on the way, people. Then we'll find something better to do than sit and do these shitty videos.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Bye then.
What are you laughing at?